Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 5th grade D.A.R.E graduation at the William E. Cottle School. As we begin, I'd like to acknowledge some special guests who have joined us today. With us this morning, we have Tuckahoe Mayor Omairo Andino, trustees of the village board, Kara Cronin and Daryl Terrell. East Chester Town Supervisor Anthony Calavita. Community Fund Director Shanna McDonough. And Tuckahoe Police Lieutenant Andrew Zarolnik. We also have joining us today, we also have our wonderful middle school, high school principal, Mr. Rodney Arthur. Our Director of Curriculum and Instruction and Technology, Dr. Christopher Keogh. Our School Finance Manager, Faith Sparks. And our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Amy Goodman. We thank all of our special guests for coming today and for their unwavering support of our 5th graders and all the children in our school district. We also like to thank all of you, the parents and caregivers, for your active support and participation in the D.A.R.E program and all the programs at Cottle School. As you know, D.A.R.E stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. This is an important program that helps prevent drug use by providing students with valuable information, improving decision-making and attitudes towards drug use, and improving social interactions among students, police officers, and local schools. In order to achieve these goals, it is vital to have a D.A.R.E officer who can successfully relate and communicate with our kids. We are so very lucky to have the best D.A.R.E officer, Officer Evan Piasta. At this time, I'd like to just invite our Superintendent of Schools for a brief few words.
Good morning, everybody. It is really my pleasure to be here for this very special ceremony. I am a strong proponent of the D.A.R.E program and ever have. I started it in East Chester, our neighboring school district, and was so excited about it there. And then people always talk to me about D.A.R.E. People have all different feelings about D.A.R.E. and if it works or if it doesn't. But I am one to say, and I see it, over all my years as an administrator that it does work, and I'll tell you why. It works because of the partnership that we have with the police departments that we do this with. Here in this district, the Tuckahoe Police Department and the town of the village of Tuckahoe, the town of Eastchester, our wonderful administrators here, and the support that we get from our parents. We know D.A.R.E is a drug prevention program, but it also is a program about effective decision-making, and we take that really seriously in Tuckahoe. It is what we do with D.A.R.E, it's what we bring up to our middle school, and it's what we do as a school district. Right now, as a school district, with Dr. Keogh and our middle school, high school principal, we are looking at a seal of approval for Tuckahoe in civics. And I think that civics is one of the most important things that we can impart on our students in this world today. So this D.A.R.E ties right into that. It's effective decision making. It is about social and emotional development. It's about skills, of course, drug prevention and violence prevention, which is what we need. And I'm saying violence very broadly. It's how we talk to each other. It's how we treat each other. So I am the strongest proponent of the D.A.R.E program. We have the best one here, as I have to say. Thank you to the Community Fund. Thank you to the Tuckahoe Police Department. Thank you for the town of Eastchester, for our wonderful administrators here who support it, but mostly for our students, our fifth grade students, who take all of this seriously. And we've seen it come up through our school district as our students grow and go into our other programs. So I'm very thankful for this program. Thank you for supporting it with us, and I am just always amazed at what we do here, and this is just one of the programs. And thank you to our wonderful police officer who really leads it with us, Officer Piazza. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Goodman. At this time, I'd like to invite Officer Piazza to the podium for his address.
I would like to take a moment to thank the friends, family, and various supporters who have come out this morning to share in this special day with the children as we congratulate them for successfully completing the elementary school Keeping It Real D.A.R.E program. I am Officer Evan Piazza of the Tuckahoe Police Department, but your children know me better as Officer Evan. I currently teach D.A.R.E here in Cottle to the fifth graders and have for the past several years. And let me tell you, every year it has gotten better and better. Previously, I taught the seventh grade over at the Tuckahoe Middle School as well. It was a joy to see my fifth graders again 2 years later and to see how much they grew up in such a short amount of time. 2 years ago, I turned the seventh grade program over to Police Officer Brian Madden, and from what I've heard, he's picked up right where I left off, and I know your children will be in good hands. It has been a few years now that we've gotten our program back on track, with no hiccups and pandemics to throw us for a loop, no more hybrid schedules and door-to-door visits, just our regularly scheduled class time and graduation. More importantly, definitely for the students and maybe even for myself, we will be having our D.A.R.E graduation and barbecue at the 5th and 7th graders over at Lake Isle towards the end of the school year. The kids will get to swim, play water basketball, jump off the diving boards, and enjoy some hamburgers and hot dogs cooked by yours truly. It's always a fun day away from school and work. Throughout the year, we've spent time talking about the dangers of drug use, the negative health effects of smoking cigarettes, alcohol abuse, as well as the misuse of prescription drugs. Most importantly, I believe, through the time we have spent together and the lessons which I have taught, your children now know and understand the steps they need to take to make healthy and wise choices in their lives. I am confident that each and every one of these children will put these lessons and the information they have learned to good use and will apply it to their everyday lives. They will know how to decipher between a good risk versus a bad risk and whether or not it is a risk worth taking. I know as a parent myself, the biggest fear we face is when our children get old enough to start making their own decisions that may affect the rest of their lives. This is a scary thought. And it is through this program and these steps, which we have practiced time and time again, I am sure they will make the right decisions. Your children also know that even when they are successful in any choice or decision they make, it is always beneficial to look back and evaluate that decision. They understand through my millions of sports analogies that when you evaluate yourself, you can always make improvements, and at the end, it will only benefit them. The D.A.R.E program is a great and unique program because they do not see me every single day like one of their teachers. I do not give homework besides the D.A.R.E essay, and a large majority of our class is spent in a group discussion type setting. But what I do give is advice and guidance on some real life issues and problems that unfortunately all of our children may one day face. It's a cruel reminder that our little ones are too getting older. On a positive note, although drug use, abuse, and experimentation still occur, the numbers are declining and have been for the past several years. When your children get to the 7th grade and early on in the middle school D.A.R.E curriculum, they'll play a game which surprises every single one of them with facts and statistics regarding this topic. I myself was surprised and caught off guard when I first learned of these numbers. But it shows the program works and has evolved over the years. We all know not every decision and choice we make in life will be the right one, but if we can learn from those mistakes, it will only make us stronger and wiser for the next time. Throughout these 10 weeks, we have discussed how important it is to surround yourself with good people who make good choices, with people who push and influence you to do great things and to strive to be a better person. That's the beauty of this program. It starts a relationship between myself, the police department, and the youth within our village. It truly brings our community and the police department closer together. That is what makes this program unique and important and why I'm honored every year to be a part of it. With this, I can only hope my students realize one thing: no matter what the problem, situation, or challenge they may face, whether it's as a child or they get older, I'm here for you. You will always know where and how to find me. I want the relationship we have started to continue to build. From our introduction here in class to seeing you in the parks and around town, and even at our community events, I'll always be around. Easy to find in this small village we all call home here in Tuckahoe. Again, it was my honor and privilege to serve as your 5th grade D.A.R.E officer. You made it more than easy and enjoyable. I am proud of each and every one of you and applaud you for your effort this year. I truly appreciate your interest and enthusiasm, which we share together each week. I wish you all nothing but the very best in the future, and we all are here to congratulate your accomplishments. Thank you. We have a few people here today that would like to speak to the students as well as everyone here in attendance. Please welcome our first guest speaker. She is the mayor of Tuckahoe, a huge D.A.R.E supporter, Mayor Omira Andino.
Good morning. Everyone's been talking to the adults. I would like to talk to you guys. Are you guys happy you're graduating today? So every day, everyone's been talking about you making choices and the choices that you make. And every day you make choices that are big and small. Some are hard, some are easy. But every choice that you make, do you know that it's making you your future self? Did you ever think about that? So who here has ever had to make a tough choice? Raise your hand. A lot of you. So I want us to, who's here has ever had to take a stand for what's right, even when it was not easy? Some of you have, good, good. So I want to play a game with you. It's called Stand for Your Choice. Okay, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and if you answer yes, I want you to stand, okay? You ready? Stand if you've ever helped a friend make a good choice. Oh, very good. Sit down. Stand if you've ever said no to something that you knew was wrong. Okay, good job, parents. Good job there. Sit down. Stand if you've ever encouraged one of your friends to do the right thing. Okay, the future's looking bright. Have a seat. Now listen to this question. Stand if you believe your choices today shape your future self. Some of you are not sure, I get it. I'm not sure sometimes myself, okay? Sit down. So I want you to look around the room behind me. You're surrounded by leaders, by family, by people who want you to make good choices. Can I ask someone to take a chance and raise your hand if you can tell me why you think everyone in this room wants you to make good choices? Come on, come on.
I feel like so you could have a successful future and not like make bad choices, so it affects your future.
Everyone wants you to have a good future. There's another reason why we all want you to make good choices. You want to give another answer?
Because if you have a good future, you can help other people, and then other people can help more and more people, so that everyone has a good life.
Whose daughter is that? Congratulations. So she took my answer. She took my answer. But in short, it's because we have a better society, right? We have better communities when we all make better choices. So I want to encourage you today, when you leave here, stand up for yourself, stand up for your friends, and always stand up for what's right. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations, and I want you guys to give Officer Piazza a standing ovation for his work. Stand up and let's applaud him. Thank you.
Unfortunately, the Village of Tuckahoe's Chief of Police, Chief Rhoda, could not be here today. In his place, we have another member of the Tuckahoe Police Department here to speak. A former D.A.R.E instructor himself, and someone who I've looked up to my entire career. He's an avid D.A.R.E supporter who has helped me understand the important role the D.A.R.E program has played within our department, that the relationships we begin to build each and every year here have a positive, immeasurable, and long-lasting effect within our community. Please welcome the commanding officer of the Tuckahoe Police Department, Lieutenant Andrew Zarolnik.
Thank you, Evan. It's always a little bit of logistics here for me with the height, so bear with me. It's been a while. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the entire Village of Tuckahoe Police Department, we'd like to congratulate the 5th grade Cottle graduates. I'm going to age myself a little bit, but Officer Evan and I were classmates in the early 90s, and we too are D.A.R.E graduates ourselves. I still remember how I felt and how excited I was to put on the D.A.R.E t-shirt and stand before my family and friends on a stage similar to this. I still remember my D.A.R.E officer, Detective Mario, but more importantly, I remember how I looked up to him and how I thought he was the coolest guy in the building. I didn't know it at the time, but he was definitely a role model for me and something that I could aspire to be. And I think that's what the true meaning of D.A.R.E is. That's at least one of them. It's that relationship that we build with the youth and the police as one. And with that, I think it's important to note and that we at least show appreciation to the 5th grade D.A.R.E teachers and the staff for partnering with us as we present the D.A.R.E curriculum here at Cottle School. It's programs like the D.A.R.E program that allows our officers to build relationships with the young people in our community in non-friendly, confrontational settings, which helps make our jobs more enjoyable and a better police department here in Tuckahoe. I'd like to thank Shannon McDonough and the Community Fund, who serves as our primary benefactor. And it's a great organization that offsets the costs for the weekly handouts and the D.A.R.E barbecue that the kids will enjoy at Lake Isle in the months to come. Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge Officer Piasta for your hard work and dedication to the D.A.R.E program. It's not easy to do what you do, and I remember the many days leaving the school mentally and physically exhausted after teaching. It takes a big commitment to make this program successful, and there needs to be a lot of passion, which you exhibit. Officer Evan volunteers his time, he offsets his schedule for no extra pay because he believes in the children, and he believes in D.A.R.E. Evan, you do a great job year after year, and I want to personally thank you on behalf of our entire department. Lastly, one last congratulations to the 5th grade class. Enjoy the rest of the school year, and we look forward to seeing you in D.A.R.E in the middle school in the many years ahead. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call up, always a crowd favorite, East Chestertown Supervisor Anthony Calafia.
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see Lieutenant Zarolnik here. I knew him when he was this tall. To our students, on behalf of all 36,000 East Chester residents, I want to congratulate you on successfully completing the D.A.R.E program. Great job. one of the best examples of like a municipal government working with the school government for your benefit. And you might say to yourselves throughout this whole process, what are we doing this for? Like, why are we up here? Why do we get the t-shirts? Why are we playing with D.A.R.E and the Bear? Why does Officer Evan come to our classroom? And the reason is very simple. It's because your parents love you very much, and we care for you. And we want to make sure when the time comes for you guys to make a tough decision, you have the skills to protect yourself and your friends, right? Cottle is a fantastic school. You learn so much here about math and science and geography and social studies and all of that. But you know, the lessons that Officer Evan taught you are just as important. Lessons about self-importance, about how to deal with peer pressure, about self-esteem. Those are important lessons too that you can use for the rest of your days. But remember this, if you ever feel yourself getting overwhelmed or nervous about something, or something's not going well for you, always reach out to your parents. Nobody loves you like your mother and your father, and they will never give you bad advice. And believe me, you won't get as much trouble as you think because they'll be glad you came to them. Even though you think they're not that cool and they can't handle anything, they can barely manage their phones and all, you realize that they love you and they have been where you're going, and they will never steer you wrong. So have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the year. We'll see you guys at the party at Lake Isle where it's just tons of fun. And remember that D.A.R.E does not end today, D.A.R.E begins today. Thank you very much.
And now for our last speaker. Some of you may not be aware, but if it were not for the Community Fund, the D.A.R.E program would not be in our schools today. The Community Fund tirelessly raises money to fund many of the community youth outreach programs such as D.A.R.E, the Tuckahoe Police Explorer Post, as well as events like Bike Safety Day, which will be held later on this year in June in Tuckahoe's Main Street Park. As the Tuckahoe Police Department's greatest benefactor, I'd like to welcome up the Community Funds Director, Shannon McDonough.
Good morning, everybody. So glad to be here and celebrate with you and your parents, the officers, and everyone here at the school. Good morning. I just moved to Tuckahoe 4 years ago. Is there anyone else who is new in the last 5 to 7 years? Okay, veteran. So everyone knows about the Community Fund. We are not only a benefactor, but really just a method to redistribute the donations that all of you give. So people across the 3 villages provide their financial support, and we work with the agencies in the area to deliver that support to people across the lifespan, and especially to our neighbors in need. I think we have seen evidence today that we have some future presidents of the Youth Community Fund here in the room. The Youth Community Fund was started a few years ago, and the goal is to bring high school students into the fundraising and grant-making processes, and they also do a lot of volunteer work here in the community. One thing that's happening this spring is the teenagers who are part of the fund this year are partnering with the Harris Project. Stephanie Marcasano has been speaking in the middle schools about substance use disorder and also mental health, and the combination of both of those things and how important it is for all the students to really understand how to think about it, get help, and that is a complement to a program like D.A.R.E. The high school students will be putting together a program this spring that is aimed at middle school students. So they'll be bringing what Stephanie has brought to them and some of their own experiences in programs like this to that event. If you're not currently signed up for our newsletter, please go to thecommunityfund.org and you can get information about when that's going to happen. One additional thing that I would just like to share, that in addition to really worthy programs like D.A.R.E here in Tuckahoe, as well as the Tuckahoe youth programs that the police offers, the Community Fund, through donations from everyone in this town, supports a lot of different organizations, some of which you may be familiar with and some you might not know that the Community Fund is helping to support. This year alone, we are able to redistribute $60,000 to ECAP, as well that same amount to EVAC, so that every 3 years the ambulance corps can buy a new ambulance and be able to serve everyone effectively with the most up-to-date technology. In addition, the Senior Citizens Council that provides events and activities to keep older adults who are retired socialized, informed, and healthy. The Tuckahoe Public Library is also a really important organization in the community, and one that the Community Fund has been supporting steadily over the years, and in fact was not only able to support programming, but also provide some critical support for the most recent renovation. So thank you to everyone in the room who have been involved in the Community Fund, who have donated to the Community Fund, and also to people's families in the room who have been involved in decades past. This organization has been active continuously in our area since 1919. And we're very, very proud to do the work that you help us to do. So thank you.
In order to complete the D.A.R.E program, each student was required to write an essay explaining what D.A.R.E meant to them. This allowed the children a chance to express the most important things they've learned in the program this year. I am pleased to say each student did a great job and really put some thought into their work. I have selected one student from each class to speak before you all today. Our first reader is from Class 5JG, Cristiano Benedetti.
Being a part of the D.A.R.E program isn't just about saying no. It inspires kids to make good decisions that will lead to a successful future. D.A.R.E is important because it gives kids guidelines on how to stay safe as they grow up by helping them make good choices. It teaches them why they should stay away from dangerous things such as alcohol and how to deal with bullying. Even though it is illegal to sell alcohol to anyone under the age of 21, it can be easy for your kids to get their hands on these products. Each year there are 88,000 alcohol-related deaths because alcohol slows down the brain and body and weakens the heart muscle. This reduces the amount of blood getting pumped to your heart, leading to poor judgment, memory loss, loss of self-control, and slow reflexes. In D.A.R.E, we also learned that there are 4 different types of bullying: physical bullying, social and verbal bullying, and cyberbullying. Physical bullying is any kind of hitting or damaging someone's body. Social bullying is making someone feel isolated or excluded. Verbal bullying is saying anything hurtful to anyone. The last and most common form of bullying we learned about is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is most common because everybody has access to some form of device and the internet has no boundaries. In conclusion, alcohol and bullying prevention are very important aspects of D.A.R.E. The D.A.R.E program plays an important role in creating future generations of responsible people. The D.A.R.E decision-making model helps kids define, assess, respond, and evaluate the problems they face every day. By giving kids this strategy, they will have a formula for solving problems without an adult. D.A.R.E teaches kids lessons that will last a lifetime.
Our next reader is from Class 5G, Graciela Nunez.
There are many exceptional lessons about D.A.R.E that officers teach. I hope this will give you a marvelous summary about what they teach and a great understanding of it. In particular, I think this is a very excellent thing to know because it teaches you how to avoid drugs and how they affect you, if you take them, as well as making good decisions. Also, yes, I've used the D.A.R.E decision model before. I think this is helpful for children. It shows ways to get away from trouble and how to make smart choices. I plan to use what I learned from the D.A.R.E decision-making model by going through the steps and reviewing what each step means. What does the decision-making model spell, you ask? Well, the D stands for define, the A stands for assess, the R stands for respond, and the E stands for evaluate. D.A.R.E is very important, but there's more to it, especially the part about drugs. For example, tobacco can make you have breathing problems and respiratory issues, which could guide your way to cancer. Adding in, it has nicotine and can be addictive. Another thing that we talked about was alcohol. Alcohol slows down the brain and also damages organs like the liver. You would have poor judgment and you lose self-control. Actually, not all of it is drugs. Sometimes it is how you read the label and take medication correctly, which is OCT versus RX. Furthermore, there's bullying, physical, social, and verbal, and on the devices bullying, like on an iPad, iPhone, computer, and etc. Sometimes people do it because they feel bad about themselves and take it out on you. I think that D.A.R.E is also more than just not taking drugs. It is additionally about making good decisions. Again, the D.A.R.E decision model stands for define, assess, respond, and evaluate. As an example, say you got accepted to the college you really want to go to, and it is far away. If you think about it, if you really want to go, because it's a great school for you, but do you think you can handle being far away from family and friends? Another thing that if you choose to do is skip breakfast. Maybe that wouldn't be a good idea. You could be too distracted by having a bad headache or stomach ache. Maybe even daydreaming about lunch or snack. Walking home from or to school, you could have to decide something. Like what if your friends are destroying someone's property and you're telling them not to do that? But what if a cop comes by? They would most likely not believe that you didn't do anything. Then you would think maybe next time to go a different way home. Lastly, disobeying people, like if one of your family members tells you to stop but you're doing something. If you disobey them, you could get in trouble, but if you don't, they will not be mad. In closing, I hope that you think that this gives you a good understanding about what I've learned in D.A.R.E.
Our next reader is from Class 5F, Allison Wade.
During D.A.R.E with Officer Evans, we have learned a lot so far. We've learned about drugs, tobacco, cigarettes, bullying, good and bad choices, and even more. Officer Evans has taught us so much this year. During a few of our D.A.R.E classes, Officer Evans has taught us a lot about the D.A.R.E decision-making model. Here are the steps. Define. Describe the problem, challenge, or opportunity. Assess. What are your choices? Respond. Make a choice. Use the facts and information you have gathered. And finally, evaluate. Review your decision. This helps us make good decisions in life. For example, if you are walking home from school with a friend and you see a gang smoking, you can tell your friend, "What if we go this way instead?" You can assume it is probably safer to go the other way. Another example is if you see your friend take cigarettes from their parents' bag and they ask if you want one, respond by saying, "No thanks, I'm good." These are only a few examples, but are useful for a point. I've also learned how to not use drugs and alcohol and why it is bad to use them. First, we shouldn't use or be around cigarettes. They can lead to heart and lung problems as well as cancer. Even if someone around you is smoking and you breathe too much of it, you could be at risk too. So try to avoid anyone smoking. And then alcohol. There's many negative effects, such as high blood pressure, heart disease, liver disease, stroke, alcohol use disorder. This affects both physical and mental health and digestive problems. I've learned not to use these drugs and many others in the future. Finally, I'm going to talk about bullying and how I'm going to use D.A.R.E later in life. I'm going to talk about bullying first. Bullying is aggressive behavior that involves unwanted and negative actions and which always results in a bad way. Bullying also involves a pattern of behavior that repeats over time. It can be harmful in 3 different ways. Verbal bullying. Verbal bullying is saying or writing mean things. Cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is sending or sharing negative, harmful, false, or mean things about someone else. Physical bullying. Physical bullying is actually physically hurting someone and by most people is considered the worst. I'm going to use D.A.R.E to help make good decisions in my life. In conclusion, I'm going to use D.A.R.E for many things like making better choices, helping others, not to smoke or take drugs such as cigarettes, tobacco, and alcohol, and good and bad choices. After taking D.A.R.E, I know how to make the world a better place.
Our final essay is from Class 5CGS, Penelope Guest.
In D.A.R.E, I have learned many things. I will talk about 2 topics that I have learned about in D.A.R.E. One topic I will be talking about is bullying. The other topic is peer pressure. I think these topics are important because the bad kinds of these behaviors, sadly, are very prominent. There are also important differences between them. This is what I will be covering. There are 4 different types of bullying, and they are physical, verbal, social, and cyber. Physical bullying is hitting, pushing, or shoving someone. It is the most noticeable type of bullying. Verbal bullying is saying names or saying something mean to someone, and it is common, unfortunately. The next type of bullying is social, which is purposely leaving someone out or spreading rumors. The final type of bullying is cyberbullying, which is sending mean text messages about someone or going onto someone's account and pretending to be them. These are the different types of bullying. Now, I will discuss peer pressure. Peer pressure is when people that have a similar mindset try to get you to do something you don't want to or are scared to do. An example of good peer pressure is if you're auditioning for something but you're scared. If your friends say, "You can do this," or "You got this," that is positive peer pressure. Negative peer pressure is trying to get you to do something you don't want to do or will get you in trouble. This is what peer pressure is. There are differences between peer pressure and bullying. One difference is that bullying is repetitive, while peer pressure is usually not as repetitive. Bullying tends to be targeted at one person or a small group of people. Peer pressure is trying to get you to do something, while bullying tends to be more mean-spirited. There are important differences between peer pressure and bullying, but there is one similarity to me. The bad kinds of these behaviors should not happen. Thank you.
A major component of the D.A.R.E program is for the children to not only make healthy choices for their body, but to also better themselves as a person. We focused on being compassionate to others and learning how to effectively communicate amongst our peers, how to be considerate towards other people's feelings, and to think before we speak or act out irrationally. I'd like to present the following character awards to a boy and a girl from each class who exhibited the positive traits Darren, our D.A.R.E mascot, stands for, and who displayed enthusiasm and dedication to the D.A.R.E program. Will the following students please come up? From Class 5JG, Layla Stone and Mikey McKeon. From Class 5G, Mackenzie Moclair and John Tarter. John? John Tarter. Jack Tarter? From 5F, Grace Lamanna and Charles Mullen. And finally, from Class 5 CGS, Sawyer Mealy and Dylan McManus. Before I turn the microphone over to Assistant Principal Mr. K for the closing remarks, I'd like to call up the 5th grade teachers, Mr. Fusco, Ms. Gorsi, Ms. Jufra, Ms. Girardi, Ms. Spiesman, Ms. Potter, Ms. Fritz, as well as Cottle's music teacher, Mrs. Kim. I'd like to thank them all for allowing me to come into their classrooms over the course of the school year and teach the D.A.R.E curriculum, as well as all their efforts they put into helping me organize this graduation. I know class time is hard to come by, and it gets harder and harder every year. So for this, we all thank you.
And as a special thank you from the 5th grade to Officer Evan, we have a little something for him. The 5th graders would like to present him with that now.
And now for the closing remarks, here is Assistant Principal, Mr. K.
Thank you, Evan. Boys and girls, very impressed. The music cut out, you did not skip a beat, and you did an amazing job. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause. Miss Kim, great job. The music cut out, and it's still nailed it. Great job, boys and girls. Before I begin my closing remarks, I'd like to bring up our amazing middle school and high school principal, Mr. Rodney Arthur, for some remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, fifth grade scholars. How we doing? You did an amazing job. The choices that you're making now set you up for success when you reach the middle school, high school. When you enter the building, in the fifth grade, sixth grade corridor, there's a quote that you will see, which aligns to the D.A.R.E program, and I'm going to thank Officer Piazza for all that he does. It says, do something today that your future self will thank you for. So the choices that you're learning, how to make good choices, safe choices, becomes part of what we'll expect when you reach to the middle school. So I want to thank you for committing to the program, thank you for helping a friend, thank you for just your dedication, and we look forward to receiving you next year in the sixth grade. Thank you. Thank you to the parents for your partnership.
Thank you, Mr. Arthur. Congratulations, boys and girls. Completing your first year of the D.A.R.E program is truly a significant achievement. At this time, I would also like to take a moment to recognize Officer Piazza. Officer Piazza, the students trust and appreciate you, and the bond you have built with them is invaluable. Your dedication is one of the many reasons why this program is so impactful and successful, so thank you, Officer Piazza. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the fifth grade teachers for their support and guidance. And of course, a special thank you for the students standing on this stage today. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, millions of children worldwide will benefit from the D.A.R.E program. This incredible initiative equips students with the skills they need to make safe and healthy choices in life. Boys and girls, you now have the knowledge and tools to resist drugs, alcohol, and other high-risk situations you may face as teenagers and young adults. We are incredibly proud of you, and once again, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our D.A.R.E graduation ceremony. We kindly ask you to remain seated as our Cottle Cubs exits the stage. And once again, thank you for all your support. Have an amazing day. Thank you.